Hello, hello. How are you? More intense energies and flares and all this fun stuff flowing in regularly now. So today I want to talk about the difference between living from your heart and living from your mind. This might, let's describe it. This might be confusing for some people compared to other people. But there's two choices. So basically, in what I've been taught and the knowledge that I've been shared is that we're all fractals of Source or God. And if you ever read the book A Course in Miracles, the actual creation of humanity was created from something called the mad thought. And the mad thought was we were a bunch of beautiful, energetic beings living in energy and getting whatever we wanted and manifesting whatever we wanted whenever we want. And then one day, some part of that God essence said, what if we weren't part of God? And we were instantaneous manifestors. And what was created was something very interesting. And it helps us understand how we can be part of God, but also human being at the same time. So basically what happened, we've all heard of the term, sorry, this sinus infection, I've got antibiotics for it now, but we basically decided to become separate from God. So what we stepped into is something called duality. So duality, we talk about a lot, but a lot of people may not know what it is, but it's separation from God. We basically have a part that's part of God and a higher self that knows everything and understands everything. And then we have a part that's our human avatar, the part that comes into flesh. And as long as we're in a human body, we have this part of ourselves that keeps us in separation. It's called the ego. The ego is basically our separation from God. And it's got a whole bunch of other terms now where it's like chasing success and self-protection and other things. But this ego constructed itself in between, and it's a protector. Basically, its entire role is to keep us separate from God, or realizing that we're part of God and this higher essence. So that part of us goes all the time and inserts things and protects us and tries to keep us from becoming too aware. And we, pardon me, we go on these ego trips and other things where we basically keep separating over and over and over again, or inserting into our reality self-sabotage. And we also create protections that say, hey, don't do that, don't think about that, don't do this thing. And a lot of it's in our subconscious mind. And so we end up having this battle all the time with our ego. And our ego wants to keep us in our mind. But really where we are, and when we're fully present in our God self, we're an energy that's anchored in a body. We have a physical body, this avatar that's here, that has face and interactions with people in a reality, in a matrix, whatever you want to call it, that is basically constructed to have experiences, learn lessons, and to help us have broadening of unlimited experience. So basically living out every possibility, every reality, every choice, everything. And that's what we do in a human body. Now, as we're starting to ascend, we're starting to become more and more aware of our ego in our body and its relationship to us and how it protects us and what it inserts in between us and other people and competition and all these crazy things that basically slow us down and send us on the wrong track in a lot of ways. Now, as we're starting to become more and more aware, we're starting to become more and more aware of the heart center. Now, we can talk science here, but there's actually brain matter that's in our heart. And the scientists are starting to find out more and more when we go into our energetic field, we go into our heart, we go into the center part of our chest, it expands our auric field. It makes us amplified as an energy being. When we're in our head, it's different. And unfortunately, when we're in our head, can you imagine what's the distance between your heart level down here and maybe your brain, the middle of your brain, probably a good foot and a half? If we're living out of our brain, we're actually not in the center of the body, our spiritual body, which is our heart. So we end up ungrounded all the time. We sit in this stage of, this is me, this is who I am, etc. And we end up getting lost in doing, in thoughts, in societal and collective crap. The programming, the beliefs, the traumas, the engagement. So as we're growing and as we're moving forward, we're starting to get this point where we're starting to recognize that there's something else. And at least in my experience, just put your hand on your heart while we're watching this. Just set it right there and just imagine sending love to yourself from your hand, and just feel that kind of glowing, bubbly feeling. And just feel it. Just breathe deep, embody yourself, get grounded, sit down into the chair, relax, and just feel. Just feel what that feels like. It's kind of like warm and fuzzy and bubbly to me, and it feels good. I feel much more grounded. I feel my butt in the seat, etc. Now we're going to exit that. Now take your hand and put it on top of your head where your brain is, and feel how your energy shifts. Send love to it and all this kind of stuff. But at least for me, it's a kind of a hollow sensation. It's kind of like I'm sending energy to something that's not receiving it. I don't know how else to describe it. I don't get that same warm sensation. I don't get that coziness. I don't get that gently happy joy sensation. But feel it for yourself. Just try that. Try your hand on your head and your heart. Maybe after this video, try the same thing. And you're going to start to realize that the center, the part that's really living us, is from love. It's from that loving heart center. I'll put my hand back here. I can feel it. I can feel my whole energy shift down, and now I'm in my center spot. And a lot of times I'll lay my hand on my heart, another one on my root chakra, and just course energy through myself as I'm going off to bed, and when I'm in a frustration or angry about something that's going on in the world, or not knowing how to deal with shit, I'll put these energies here, and then all of a sudden everything calms down. And it's not a lot of times you're going to find out in your head that it's like this racing monkey mind sensation where it's like, oh, I gotta make money, I gotta figure this out, I gotta get this done, I gotta help this and gotta help that, and blah 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 blah. Where once I put my hand here and I take some breaths and I close my eyes and I just let the thoughts pass by, all of a sudden there's this calm. This is our 0 point. This is our center of creation. This is our self-love shining into ourselves. So how's that happening for you? How does that feel? Which part are you living out of? You're going to probably find out that you're anxious all the time and you're frustrated. Start to get to the point where you start to put your hand here and see what happens. Oh, that feels different. Okay, this is still me. What's going on? When you start to become more and more aware that this heart space is really where we're meant to be from, you're going to start to step back. You're going to start to be able to see and be aware of things like the ego playing and how it's got us trapped into chasing and pleasing and fixing and trying to make money, trying to solve everything. Where if you put your hand in your heart, there's no solving or fixing. There's just a calm, an allowance, letting God through you, letting things happen, letting life go, moving onwards. It's quite the different process. It's a new space. So just go and experiment with that. Which one do you prefer? Which one feels better? Once you start seeing your ego and start seeing things like jealousy and competition and all this kind of stuff, is it serving you, or is it just putting you in busyness, like chasing things and not knowing how to go forward and going in and complying with other people and all this kind of stuff, and it becomes a chase instead of a beautiful allowance. So which one are you living from? Which one would you prefer to live from? Just hold your heart for a while and go into that space. Anytime things get scary or whatever, just hand here, breathe, see what happens. Put some comments in the bottom if it worked for you. We're just trying to get people awoke to possibility and difference and feeling it and discerning it so that they can make a choice. So I love you all. Have a great day, and we'll talk more soon.